How confident are you that I am a human being? I sound human, I look human, but could I be an AI-powered avatar? This possibility is now far more likely thanks to a big week in the world of digital twins, which now seem poised to go mainstream. We'll be exploring this topic and more, including Tesla's unveiling of robot taxis and an AI-powered breakup text on today's episode of AI Curious. My name is Jeff Wilser. I'm a journalist, I'm a human, and I'm curious about AI. And as longtime listeners know, on every episode, I used to open with the kind of silly joke, I'm a human, mainly because I thought that in the future, it will be harder and harder to tell who is an actual flesh and blood human and who is a digital twin. That future is getting very close. Now, I've already had multiple guests on this podcast who are pioneers in building digital twins, and I will have more in the future. But we just learned that a monster company is getting into the digital twin game. That would be Zoom. The company's pitch is simple. Hey, you don't like going to all these meetings? No one does. So maybe you can send your digital twin to go on your behalf. Now, Zoom has been public about this idea for a while. Back in June, in an interview with Decoder, CEO Eric Yuan said that today, for this session, ideally, I do not need to join. I can send a digital version of myself to join so I can go on the beach. Now, as an aside, as a journalist, I would love it if my sources stopped showing up to our interviews and only sent digital twins. I see no problems with this. I see no issues with fact checking or accuracy. I'm sure it'll all be fine. So here's how it's going to work today. If you pay the $12 a month for Zoom's AI companion feature, starting in January, you record a video of yourself, you upload it to Zoom, and then Zoom creates your digital twin. Voila! Now you can just type in a message like, "Hi, I am not being creepy." And then that message can get delivered by video by your digital twin as a clip to your colleagues. Now, it's worth noting that we are not quite there yet as far as letting you clone or having your twin attend full meetings on your behalf. We're not quite there, but this is clearly a step in that direction. As a quick aside, why are we calling these digital twins? That is the in vogue term, but they're basically clones, like digital clones. I guess that's too dystopian for branding purposes, but personally, I find clones a way cooler and more accurate term, and I'd wish we all just call it like it is. Now, there are, of course, a ton of questions about how this will all play out. As The Verge's editor-in-chief, Nilay Patel, wanted to ask the Zoom CEO, just for starters, how many digital twins might you have? How will they all stay in sync? Can you trust them? What work will be left if everyone is sending their digital twins to all the meetings? Meanwhile, Zoom is not the only digital twin show in town. This past week, the company HeyGen released an update called Avatar 3.0, which lets you create a digital version of yourself, and AI Twitter was very, very impressed by the update. As friend of the pod and one of my early guests, AI artist Heather Cooper, who's great, said, "I've been testing HeyGen's Unlimited Looks feature, and it's a game changer for busy content creators." Basically, with HeyGen, you can create your avatar and then have it automatically change your outfits, change camera angles, or change backgrounds on the fly so you don't have to record multiple takes across multiple platforms. Now, we will do more deep dives into the ethics, the upside, the downsides, the problems, and the use cases of digital twins, clones, in the future. But for now, whether you like it or not, I think the takeaway is it's clear this future is coming. And now for our next segment, 3 quick things. Quick thing number 1, speaking of whether you like it or not, or rather whether you like him or not, Elon Musk just unveiled the long-awaited robo-taxi, a car without a steering wheel or pedals. He also announced a surprise robot bus, basically a futuristic bus that could transport 20 people. In his keynote, Musk essentially said that a fleet of self-driving robo-taxis could completely transform what our roads and cities look like. That instead of massive parking lots, we'd have more parks. That instead of driving in traffic, We'd sit back and take naps while getting whisked across the city. He said the cybercab would cost less than $30,000 and it would be available before 2027. Now, it is true that the day after this event, Wall Street was thoroughly unimpressed and Tesla's stock tanked by 8%. It's also true that Elon has made many promises before along these lines and has failed to deliver again and again and again. And I am not here to debate the character or merits of Elon Musk, but I will say this on the narrow issue of self-driving cars and robot taxis, putting everything else away on this scope, yes, and yes. Cards on the table. I freaking love a future where self-driving cars are everywhere, where you don't have to worry about parking or traffic or driving or paying attention at the wheel. Every year, there are over 40,000 deaths by car accidents because humans are bad drivers. We are lousy. I am confident that a self-driving world, a fully self-driving world, will be safer. I love the idea of its future, and even if it's still years or decades away, I love that we are inching ever so closer. Quick thing number 2, and we'll keep this very quick. At an event called Delivering the Future, Amazon announced its new warehouse will have 10 times as many robots as their standard warehouse. This is in Shreveport, Louisiana, and it's called their first, quote, next generation fulfillment center. Now, to connect the dots to another recent story, the longshoremen who went on strike because they're worried about automation or getting replaced by robots, the writing is very clearly on the wall. You don't have to do a lot of reading between the lines. That world is coming. And finally, a delightful little story. A software developer named Nick Spreen was testing out a beta version of Apple Intelligence on his iPhone. And one of the AI features is that it could summarize your text. Before you even read text, the AI can summarize them for you. Now, while Nick was testing this out, in a fun coincidence, his girlfriend happened to break up with him. Now, how did Nick learn this? She broke up with him by text, and she sent a string of texts. But before, as everyone loves that, right? But before he saw the actual text, he first saw the AI written summary. Quote, no longer in a relationship, semicolon, wants belongings from apartment, unquote. And that will do it for AI Curious. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing, following, rating it 5 stars, leaving a comment, all that good stuff. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.